Just like the evolution of the human race, there is definitely an evolution we go through as runners. In fact, I think we go through 7 distinct phases on our journey to running for a lifetime, and just by knowing what's ahead is going to help us navigate that journey. So here are our 7 stages of becoming a runner. That behind us is Mary's childhood home, and we thought, what more symbolic way to sum up the stages that you would have gone through when you were a child growing up being a runner than doing it in your childhood home. Now we're back in the UK.
Yeah, this is where I first got into running.
And by the way, it's freezing. But as we've said before, as we see it, there are about 7 distinct stages that you go through before it becomes habitual and you're a runner for life. And we're going to take you through them this week while we spend time at your family home. And it's going to start with us going for a run around your local park run place.
Yeah, little warm up for Saturday.
Oh, yeah, feels much easier already. Yeah.
2 seconds.
Well, I'm gonna fly. So this is the local park. In fact, actually, separate video, but we're gonna have a really good go at smashing a park run on Saturday.
Yeah.
This is Asbury Mere, which is near where Mary grew up. Good a place as any to make our first point. And in the early days of running, like when you first start, what you should expect the first stage to be was something that I call necessary pain. Kind of takes the edge off the fact I'm saying pain, I think. I suppose the first thing we got to do is define necessary pain, and maybe we don't call it pain, we call it discomfort, but without these types of feelings, our brain is always going to be comfortable. It's not going to send the necessary signals to improve us. So we've got to get out of the comfort zone and understand that running, when you start and when you're many years down the line, it shouldn't really always feel easy, because if it feels easy, there's no growth there. So what kind of things constitute that necessary pain, that necessary discomfort that we had to embrace? Number 1 is that physical pain of exercise. We're running now and we're feeling it, and that's okay. A part of the process is the fact that most runs there's going to be some kind of discomfort. That's what I mean, it's what running is.
And then add to that feelings of laboured breathing as you're running. It just feels uncomfortable.
And we're going to demonstrate this by doing this final lap at a bit more like race pace, just to see what's happening with our bodies. Wish us luck. I mean, this is definite discomfort. Yeah, 3:56 for the kilometre after the travel. Can't be too unhappy about that. Which is the final point about pain, I guess, is that now we're going to have to recover. And in the early days, you have to embrace the fact recovery takes longer. It does get quicker as you go.
Yeah, it just feels foreign when you're new and your body's aching and it's sore, but it is a good thing and it does get better.
We hope. No, it does. It does. Now, the second point, we got a real treat for anyone that's been part of the channel for over 2 years. It's coming. Just wait. First proper day back in the UK. You know where we're going. And before you move on to stage 2, I think it's worth giving credit to some emotional but necessary pains that you'll be going through. Like, for example, feeling sometimes like you're a fraud, especially if you start running in later age. Some people can think, oh, I shouldn't be a runner, I should have done it when I'm younger. And that's absolutely not the case. And also just embracing that struggle. It is painful, embracing that mental struggle, but again, necessary and okay. All right, it's coming, Mary. I know where we're going. Come on, you didn't think we would be coming back to the UK without doing this segment right here, right now. And if you're new to the channel, then this is something that was an absolute staple a couple of years ago during lockdown, wasn't it, Mary?
Sitting in the car.
Can we do it together?
I think you should do it.
Okay. No, come on, do it together. It's special. Welcome to... You didn't commit.
Mine was just a bit smaller, that's all.
You just went...
Car chat.
Anyway.
It was always your thing.
Yeah, fair enough. It was our thing. It was everyone's thing, the theme tune. So, stage 2, which is hopefully a very short stage, by the way, but I absolutely think it needs to be talked about so that you appreciate what's coming if you haven't got there yet, is frustration. Now, there's... Obviously in stage 1 there's the pain of going through something new, the necessary pain as we called it, of pushing yourself, but there's going to come a point
when you're not going to see the progress that you want to see, or certainly not as quickly as you want to see it. And that is the frustration stage that everybody goes through.
Yeah, and I think it's like you've started running and you've got an idea that you want to be at this certain place and you feel so far away from it.
Yeah, and all I can say is it gets better, but the main thing for me is that if you asked any professional athlete about how they judge their progress, almost all of them to a person is going to tell you that they judge it usually over the period of about a year.
Yeah.
And to judge your progress, to judge your life's progress on any less than a year probably doesn't do what you're trying to achieve justice.
Yeah.
Because you're on this journey now for life, and if you want to see these quick changes in 6 weeks, you're not zooming out enough. So there is going to be frustration.
Yeah.
That's going to happen in stage 2.
Yeah.
But it is hopefully a really short stage in the scheme of things.
Yeah.
Because then you get to stage 3, which is much more exciting.
Stage 3 is a good one.
And we hope you really enjoyed this little trip down memory lane. On to stage 3, Mary.
Let's do it. The third phase of becoming a runner is breakthrough. This is when you get the first seeds of progress. It might just be one good run that feels amazing and you feel like it's clicking, or it might be progress in your time, speed, lower heart rate, things like that. This is a good one. Breakthrough is a really key phase because it's when you start to feel progress. It could be that you just have one really good run where things click and you feel like you found a rhythm, you're feeling good. Or it could be progress in things like the distance you run, the time you run for, or your time's getting quicker or your heart rate getting lower.
And you want to know why breakthroughs are so important in running? That's because when you get into running, it's very much a faith in the process activity, as in you're not going to see immediate rewards. It's just not going to happen. That's not the way running and your body works. But when you do see those differences, like Mary explained, it's mega. It's something that you grab onto. One good run is probably worth 15 bad runs, and it just hooks you back in, a bit like golf. Not that I get golf, but
You want to get that good feeling again.
yeah, you could have a really bad round, hit one absolute beauty down the fairway at the end, and you're like, I'm back in. That is why I do it. And it's quite similar with running. So what you do when you do have your breakthrough is you just take it as a positive confirmation that you're on the right track, you're going the right way. And it's as simple as that, because then you can move on to stage 4.
And after you've seen that breakthrough comes stage 4, which is hunger. And it's not physical hunger, although I am hungry, so I'm having my lunch, but it's more like a hunger to be better and a hunger to work out how to be better. So what do? We start looking deeper into things. We start looking for more information. And what can you do when you're hungry to be better? You can surround yourselves by people in the know, and you can surround yourselves by people better than you, because that is a surefire way of you improving and pushing yourself. So in this stage, people can start branching out. They might start reading books about running to inspire them. They might join running clubs or triathlon clubs. In every good town or village or city, there are multiple clubs you can join with lots of friendly faces that have the same passions as you. You could even go the route I went and start doing my coaching badges in triathlon. I've done coaching badges in football. Lots of different things to try and be the best version of myself that I can be. And that comes from the hunger of seeing those breakthroughs, of seeing that the process really does work and trusting in it. And now I want to be even better. So stage 4 is a really joyful part of the whole journey, where you really start to expand that brain and therefore improve yourself as a runner. But as I say, I mean, there is actual physical hunger as well. Jam sandwiches. I'll never eat jam sandwiches, but we're in the UK.
Morning, we're off on our third run in 3 days, back in the UK in the cool weather. We're going to a favourite old path.
So stage 5 is like the post-knowledge, post-hunger, post-learning phase of frustration, which was stage 2. And that is resilience, because what you might not have known in the early days when you were going through that small, hopefully, frustration phase is that it's going to be all right. You hadn't had the breakthrough yet. You hadn't had the hunger to learn more yet, but now you have. You can take those little knocks, those little setbacks, and you can work your way through them, and you're building a much more resilient person.
Yeah, you know enough now that you're not going to quit, and you can feel that resilience within you. You have hard days, you have good days, but you know and you want to keep on going and pushing on through it.
Yeah, it's actually getting too warm for a jacket. Whoa! So let me give you some examples of when you are able to show your resilience during this phase. And a classic one is, of course, injury. Now, when you're armed with knowledge, when you've done a little bit of research in the hunger phase and you know what it's all about, then you can take that injury and treat it like a puzzle, try and get better, try and fix yourself, try and work it out. Whereas perhaps in the frustration phase, if you'd have got injured, for a lot of runners, that is the only kind of indication they need that running's not for me, I got injured, I got bad knees or whatever, knocks them right out of it. It also makes you realise that progress is not linear. It's not just, I'm going to improve, I'm going to go from here to here. It's such a messy journey. Look at Mary filming. Look at that view. But the understanding is there because of the hunger phase. You've learned you're not going to have it your own way in running. It just doesn't work like that. And arguably, the most important part of the resilience phase is the fact that you can now experiment. You can go through this trial and error process because you're resilient enough to take it if there's an error, if you fail. So things that you can focus on is your general diet, what works for you in terms of your energy levels for running. Could be sessions. Would you try a new session for speed or tempo sessions? Mess around with those. What works and what doesn't. But the beauty is, because you're now resilient, if they don't go to plan, try something else, because you've built your identity as a runner and you have the knowledge base behind you. Look at us cruising along at 4:05 a kilometre like we're not going to explode in the heat.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This is bonkers.
I know.
Yeah. Whoa. What was yours?
3:56.
3:56. Heart rate in zone 2.
My heart rate went up a little bit in the last one.
Oh. That was good. And actually, this is not another segment, but it is a chance for me to do that bit. It leads us to stage 6. After resilience comes drive. See the metaphor, because I'm in the car. And the easiest way to explain the drive phase really is that your identity is confirmed now to you. The roots are really deep. So everything, every decision that you make, everything you do is based around this drive to be a better runner, better person. So it could be, you know, do I want to go to bed at 9 p.m. or 11 p.m? Well, I want to go to bed earlier and recover so I can run. Do I want to have that extra beer? I mean, I don't drink, but people that do drink, do you want to have that one more? No, because I'm a runner. Everything you do has running sitting on top of it, and all of those decisions are therefore positive because your identity is so confirmed. And then that leads on to habit.
Yeah, when it comes to habits, you've obviously formed some pretty good ones already to get to this stage, but now you're doing everything you can to get rid of any bad habits and really solidify the habits that help you get the most out of your running. And running itself will be habitual now, so you will be at the phase where you're just not going to miss runs because it's a habit for you, and it's not really a question of whether are you going to make it or are you not. You know you are.
We always say, like, I genuinely believe this, I'm trapped in the habit of running. Like, this is something that I do now whether I want to or not. And you'll see more and more progress in more and more elements of your running. So it might be a 5k PB, or it might be a half marathon PB, or it might be that you've run your first ever marathon, but the progress comes thick and fast in the drive phase, and it really kind of hooks you back in each time. It's a really great place to be. And that leads us rather nicely to stage 7, which is the bestest stage. It's the stage we're in and we hope to be in forever, and that is peace and joy stage. And it's a lovely place to be, and really what that means is it's the culmination of all of the 6 stages before, where we've learnt to be resilient, we've increased our knowledge base, we've had the frustrations and still do, and yet here we are, and I can guarantee you we are runners for life. Like, there is no doubt in my mind we will do it until our bodies physically are not capable of doing it. And every time we go out for a run, we'll find something
that we love, right?
Yeah, even if it's a bad run, you know it's going to be worth it and it will bring you some good.
And that's because the why sits on top. Our why is to help other people fulfill their potential as runners, but also for us to be the best runners we can be. So now it's our identity. We can find the joy in every run, in every situation, in helping you. I mean, this community has actually cemented us as runners, actually, because we know how valuable you are to us, and hopefully that we can provide value to you as well. And it's a relationship that we really need in our lives. To feel like we're helping other people. It's why we're teachers. It's why we do everything we do. So
yeah, it's so motivating to hear from people on their own running journey and people finding the joy themselves. So
and we're totally at peace with where we're at, and that is the joy. Mary, you try the outro.
If this video brought you value, then consider subscribing, but no hard sell. And if you like the video, you're definitely going to like this one. 10 things that could affect your running more than you realise.
And also, check out Wednesday, because on Saturday we're going for all-out 5K parkrun PBs in the UK. Very exciting. See you Wednesday.
Bye.